Hello. Glad to be here. My name is Ken, and I welcome you to Omastruestories. The story you're about to watch is that of Neka. I promise, you will love it. But please, subscribe, like, comment and share. Let's dive into it. See you soon.
In the heart of Nigeria lies a small village known as Udi. The village is a place of simplicity and harmony, where everyone knows each other's name, story, and laughter. The people of Udi live a quiet life, bound by tradition and the shared joys of community. As the sun dips below the horizon, Udi comes alive with the hum of voices and the sound of laughter. Villagers step outside their humble homes, gathering in small circles to chat, share stories, and sip on homemade brews. Children play nearby, their carefree laughter adding to the warmth of the evening. Udi is a place where peace is almost taken for granted, where life flows as gently as the stream that winds through the village. But on this evening, no one suspects that this peace will soon be shattered, that a dark secret lies hidden among them. The peace in Udi shatters one early morning when the villagers discover the lifeless body of a young man on the outskirts of the village. His face is pale, his body still, and on his neck is a strange, unmistakable mark, a bite wound, small and circular, that none of the villagers have seen before. Fear and confusion spread through Udi as people gather around the body. The village elders exchange worried glances, whispering about bad omens. They try to calm the crowd, but whispers of a cursed snake begin to ripple through the people. Who could have done this? Someone asks, looking to the bush, as if the answer might lie hidden there. But no one dares step closer, afraid of what the strange bite mark might mean. As the villagers slowly disperse, each goes back to their homes with a heavy heart, wondering if this tragedy was just the beginning. Word of the mysterious death reaches the palace. The villagers, gripped by fear, beg their king to intervene, convinced that a deadly curse has settled over Udi. The king, a wise and just ruler, listens intently to their pleas and decides to take action. He calls upon his trusted advisors and the best hunters in the land, instructing them to search the forest and the outskirts of the village to uncover the source of this evil. The hunters, armed with spears and shields, prepare for the task ahead, determined to protect their people. The king's gaze is heavy with concern. He knows that Udi's peace is hanging by a thread, and he vows to restore it, no matter the cost. The mysterious deaths in Udi have cast a dark shadow over the village, yet Neka remains untouched by the sorrow that surrounds her. As more young men fall to her secret curse, she shows no signs of remorse or hesitation. Her smile is as warm as ever, her laughter like a soft melody that lingers in the air, captivating those who hear it. The men of Udi, despite the whispered warnings and strange rumors, still find themselves drawn to her. It's as if Neka's beauty holds a power that no one can resist, a spell that blinds them to the danger lurking beneath her charm. Her eyes are bright, her voice gentle and inviting, and each smile feels like an invitation they cannot refuse. As she strolls through the village, her laughter echoes, turning heads and capturing hearts. Men gather around her, entranced by her words, each one hoping to be the one who wins her affection. But behind her beauty lies a dark secret, one that only she knows and that will soon shatter the lives of those who love her. The fear gripping Udi has grown to a breaking point. The elders, wise in the ways of the village but powerless against the mysterious deaths, gather in a secluded hut at the edge of the village. They speak in hushed tones, exchanging fearful glances as they prepare to seek the help of the village's spiritual guide, a revered elder known for his connection to the unseen world. The elder enters, his presence filling the room with a sense of calm and authority. His face is lined with the wisdom of years, and his gaze is piercing as he listens to the elders recount the strange events surrounding Neka. They speak of the charm she holds over men, the deaths that follow, and the fear that has settled over Udi like a dark cloud. The elder listens quietly, then closes his eyes, chanting softly as he calls upon ancestral spirits for guidance. The air in the hut grew still, and the flickering fire cast shadows across his face, making him appear otherworldly. When he opens his eyes, his voice is low and grave. "There is a darkness among us," he says, his voice carrying a weight that silences the room. One that hides in beauty and draws strength from the desires of men. To confront this, we must prepare, for what we face is not of this world. The elders exchange worried glances, realizing that the confrontation with Neka will demand not only courage but also a power they can barely comprehend. Despite the elders' chants and the spiritual guides' sacred tools, nothing had been found, no sign of the darkness they believed lay within her. Neka continued to walk among them, her beauty untouched by suspicion, her presence as captivating as ever. Then, one bright morning, a stranger arrived in Udi, a man unlike any the village had ever seen. His name was Victor, a young man whose beauty seemed to rival even Neka's. His skin was smooth, his eyes bright and intense, and his presence commanded attention without effort. He carried himself with a quiet confidence, moving with a grace that captivated anyone who saw him. There was something about Victor that made him seem almost otherworldly, as though he was destined for something far greater than anyone could imagine. The villagers were immediately drawn to him, whispering excitedly about the handsome stranger. Some said he must be from a distant land, for he looked and dressed differently, with a charm that felt foreign yet familiar. Even Neka, for the first time, seemed intrigued by someone in the village. She watched him from afar, her usual calm exterior slipping for just a moment as her eyes lingered on his face. As Victor settled into the village, his presence brought a new energy to Udi, a feeling of anticipation that hung in the air like an unspoken promise. The villagers couldn't shake the sense that this young man's arrival might finally bring the answers they had been seeking. After her initial encounter with Victor, Neka found herself captivated like never before. Unused to rejection, she was determined to charm him. She began to linger around him more often, offering to help with his tasks, anything to earn his trust and draw him closer. When Victor needed water, Neka would appear with a clay pot, insisting on fetching it for him. She would offer to help gather firewood, carry baskets, or bring him food, her presence as graceful and alluring as ever. Her laughter was soft and warm, her gestures thoughtful and kind, making it clear that she was doing more than simply lending a hand. But Victor remained steadfast. He was polite, always thanking her with a gentle nod, yet there was no sign of vulnerability, no hint that he was drawn to her as so many others had been. His calm demeanor was unbreakable, a quiet strength that seemed immune to her charms. Finally, Victor agreed to visit her home for dinner. Neka's heart quickened. She set her home in perfect order, each detail carefully arranged, her finest foods laid out, her attire chosen to captivate and beguile. She felt an intoxicating sense of power, knowing that tonight, she would claim Victor's life. As they sat together, the room filled with a tense silence, the air thick with unspoken intentions. Neka's eyes glittered with dark excitement, for she knew this was his last night alive. As the evening grew closer, she leaned toward Victor, her smile alluring, her voice low and inviting. With a mysterious glint in her eye, she asked, "Do you know, Victor, that a woman's private part can be like the mouth of a snake?" Victor's calm expression faltered for the first time. A chill ran down his spine as he realized the danger he was in. Before he could react, a serpent emerged from Neka's body, its fangs gleaming in the dim light. It slithered forward, eyes locked on Victor, ready to strike. But Victor, unflinching, reached into his pocket and withdrew a small drum. He began to beat it slowly, his voice soft as he sang an ancient melody, his gaze focused and steady. As the rhythm filled the room, the snake's movements faltered. Its deadly gaze shifted from Victor to Neka, as if under the spell of his music. Neka's confidence gave way to shock, her eyes widening as she watched the serpent turn toward her, controlled by Victor's song. Neka stammered, but the snake, now under Victor's control, struck its fangs into her flesh. The venom spread swiftly through her body, her life slipping away in moments, leaving the village of Udi finally at peace. The story teaches that true beauty is found in integrity and kindness, not in external allure that hides dark intentions. It shows that those who misuse their gifts for selfish purposes ultimately face consequences. True strength lies in resisting temptation and standing firm in one's values.
Wahoo! What a story! Hope you enjoyed it and learnt a lesson or two. Please, do not forget to comment, like and share. Thanks for watching Omastruestories. Once again, my name is Ken. See you in our next drop.